everybody, this is Joel Zwicky. I'm here in the Soul Yard. Soul Yard is my studio in my basement, going way back to like 2000 when we recorded the last Boom Candle CD in here. And just recently popping up on Facebook again with that Facebook Live the other day, which wasn't supposed to go out to everybody. I was kind of under the impression that we were just testing things. And it was a good lesson for me. My friend Chris is helping me with this project and helping me get over my need for perfection, which is hard for me, for anyone who knows me. It's hard for me to put anything out to the public that isn't polished, that I'm not absolutely certain how it sounds. And we had no idea how that was going to sound or look. And the goal was really just to try something, try some new software and try streaming. Mostly because, oh gosh, there's so many reasons, there's so many things that's going on with this. So that's what this whole video is gonna be, just kind of like a short introduction as to like my mindset, as to what I want to accomplish with any of this. Last year, I spent a bunch of money on an ambitious project to reunite the band and go back on some kind of degree of touring, playing out live. Invested in a PA and a lot of gear and lighting and all these things with hopes that we were gonna not only just do a reunion show, but also hopefully play some local shows that would fit everybody's schedule. And it never really got off the ground. And so now I've got all this stuff, and I decided, well, in the past I've done solo shows and things like that, but I just wanted to bring more to it. I wanted to kind of leverage today's technology to help me tell stories with the songs in a visual way. In addition, when you're just doing a solo show like I do with my acoustic guitar, I just felt like the songs can only change so much, so I wanted to add more to it. I wanted to bring in backing tracks. I wanted to record them and pull the backing tracks off of the previous albums that we did, and so that I could play with those live and then create some visual things for people to enjoy. But as is my nature, I completely overdid it, and now my little solo show is like minimum of like a 15-foot wide stage and like 8 feet deep, and there's a coffee shop in town that'll fit it, and it really doesn't make sense for a bar, I don't think. And so I've created this thing that isn't really going anywhere. And then someone new that I'd met at the Packer game said, man, you don't have to get that stage out of your basement, just set a camera up and play to the internet, which is what we attempted the other day. And I don't know, last I checked, like almost 2,000 people have already watched that 3-minute awful video, which is inspiring to a degree. The amount of effort that it would take to get this rig out of the basement and put it on tour and learn enough material to make it worth a venue's time to even have my show there, and then to draw in enough people. Gosh, it would be so many shows you would have to put on to reach 2,000 ears. I guess that'd be 4,000 ears if you double it. But yeah, the power of the internet is just pretty frickin' amazing. And I want to leverage that with this project because it's been on hold now for a year. It got too big, it got too daunting. I didn't know how to get it out of here, so we're going to work on just bringing it to you over the internet. And I guess the goal with the channel, one of them is going to be to keep telling my Joel Ryan and the musical monsters of the multiverse stories, which I just keep making random videos as I have time and the seasons allow for those, but they haven't exactly been chronological. So I would like to create the introduction first episode of that, and then kind of lay out where I'm going with that and keep telling that story. But technology is changing faster and faster, and there's all kinds of new tools, and I need to learn how to use them. And okay, so that's something I want to do with this channel, is to keep telling that story. Additionally, I would like to play some new music, play some old music. There's a lot of songs I wrote back in the days of the band that never made it to the albums. Some of them were songs that just kind of were written about that journey that I was on after it concluded. And I haven't had really a chance to share those songs with people. And hopefully this will be a medium in which I can do that. So if you're a fan of the music from the old days of Silent Illusion, of Boom Candle, or just all the way back when I was playing under the name Joel Feathers, I've written a lot of songs over the years, and I'm looking forward to finishing those in some fashion and playing those for you. And some will be pre-recorded, kind of like this video, where I have more creative control over it, and some are going to be live, like that Facebook Live. Hopefully, we're going to adjust things so that the audio quality is better. I apologize for how that video looked and sounded, but it's learning. And the lesson it's teaching me is to have some humility and understand that sometimes people just like to see the process, not just the polished, finished product. And I think I'm gaining more and more of a respect for that as time goes on, and we're in this age of, we're far beyond auto-tune at this point. We are at the age of prompting music, where we just pick perfectly polished music and anyone can dial it up on their phone. And so I wrestle with a lot where songwriting matters, and I think that live music is always going to speak to people. There's going to be something about that, and the imperfectness of it, and the emotion of it, and the intimacy of it. So I'm going to try to get over my fears of perfection and bring you music live, hopefully once a week. Maybe it'll be one song, maybe it'll be up to 3. It just depends what my life will permit. And so I'm going to try to commit to that. And so I hope you'll tune in if you're a fan of the old music. That will definitely be a part of this channel. If you're ever have been curious about how I go about my process of writing and recording and things like that, I think I will be inviting you through the internet into the Soul Yard here, where I make all the music, and show you my process and show you how I get the sounds that I do, what's important to me, what kind of gear I use, what things I've steered away from, lessons I've learned, and things that I'm currently trying to learn and understand. I think one of the great things about live chats and the internet and comment sections and things like that is that there's going to be people out there who are going to see this who are far beyond me in skill and talent and experience. And if they happen to wander onto this channel and you have advice for me, I'm a humble dude who is always trying to learn and better myself and surround myself with people who are better than me. I had that luxury when I was in the band, and I'll readily admit that I was the least talented member of the band. I was blessed because I was surrounded by such talented individuals that I could just communicate to them what I needed in the song and what I wanted it to sound like, what I wanted it to feel, what I wanted to do. I'd hum or whatever I could to convey to them, and had these just incredible musicians who could manifest my imagination. And that led to so much of our sound. So it's always tougher without them. It's been harder without them. Because I have been completely dependent on myself to figure out how to make rhythms, how to make lead parts, how to make, I've had to push my guitar playing, when before I didn't have to push myself. I just could lean on these fantastic artists and friends to help me with it. But it hasn't happened. It's not looking like it's gonna happen again. So I've got to figure out a way just to do stuff on my own. And that's kind of what I've been doing down here. And then in addition to just like behind the scenes and gear reviews, I guess, or showing you my stuff, I'm good. I guess, you know, the channel's going to be called Joel's Wiki because it's just kind of about me. And it's sort of a glimpse or into my life, and also maybe just like a time capsule for me, just to document where I've been and where I'm at now and the things that are important to me. And I'm gonna be vulnerable and let people in to kind of see what it's like in my world and in my crazy mind of all the things that are going on. And so I'll show you a lot of my hobbies and things that I work on and think about. Another big aspect of this channel is going to be dedicated to my faith, which began this year when God called me, and has been the most consuming part of my year. I've been absolutely on fire for God this year, and just probably going to 6 sermons a week. And just reading everything that I can devour, taking walks, listening to audiobooks, just absolutely desiring to understand who God is, and realizing all the misconceptions that I had that had pushed me away from Him for most of my life. And so that's a big part of my life now. And I've gotten to the point in my faith where I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with kind of where I am and what I believe and why I believe it. But I spend a lot of time consuming knowledge and learning, and I don't spend a lot of time sharing it. And I am by no means an expert in anything theological. I am a complete student, complete disciple of Jesus. And so I always have more to learn, and I'm always open to it. I always ask God not to comfort me and to just give me the truth. And the truth has been very important to me, and is something I've sought after most of my life. And though I know I found it in Jesus, I still have a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of aspects, and the more you dive into God's Word, the more He reveals to you, and oftentimes it's a lot of questions. So I do attend Bible studies with groups, but I find that my hunger for these answers and for knowledge is just far exceeding my ability to find outlets locally to fill that desire. Probably I can just talk about it more than other people want to listen about it, probably. But as much as it scares the heck out of me to be vulnerable and open on the internet, because You know, there are so many trolls out there, and people love to attack. Whether if you're talking about politics or religion, people love to come out of the woodwork and condemn you. And I'll be the first to admit that I am, and remind everyone that I am just newborn, an absolute newborn to Christianity, and still stumbling, still making mistakes, still coming to wrong conclusions, and but extremely excited about it. And so I want to share that journey that I'm on. And so there will be episodes on this channel where I'm just going to have conversations about where I'm at, what I discovered this week, what I'm currently struggling with, and maybe it'll trip off thoughts that maybe you hadn't had before on a topic maybe you haven't explored or hadn't considered. And maybe I'll breach a topic that you have absolutely come to terms with, and I hope you'll be willing to share your thoughts in the comments section if you have them, in a constructive and positive and gentle manner. Explain why you came to whatever reasoning you came to on whatever topic we're talking about at that time, and together we all just sharpen one another. So that's my hopes. And I also would like to, I'm going to be exploring worship music, our notion of worship music, and kind of take my own stab at it, I guess. I've attended a lot of services, as I've said, in a lot of different churches, a lot of different styles. And I find that I like what I like, but I also have ideas of what, how I might do it different. And so I think this is going to be a platform to try some of that. And some will like it and some won't. That's why there's like 45,000 or something denominations in our country, because everybody likes something a little different. And so some people will like this channel, some people will hate this channel. Some people will enjoy the nostalgia of the old, and maybe I can talk about how some of the songs were written and that we kind of all lived through during the Boom Candle and Silent Illusion years, and how those were written, and kind of enjoy the nostalgia of the past, the good old days, and then we grow together in today and towards whatever the future holds. So I hope you'll come back and follow the channel if it blesses you, and together, family, we're going to figure this out, where this all goes. It's going to be exciting and interesting, and there will be hiccups and mistakes, but I think it'll all get better as time and experience goes on. And always welcome your feedback. If there's things that you enjoy, if there's other things you want to hear or wonder about, or would like me to talk about, or maybe songs that you enjoyed that impacted you that we had performed in the past, I'd love to hear those stories. If there's a song that means something to you that you would like me to play, feel free to let me know. I'd be honored to bring back whatever I could. So that's all for tonight, and we'll try to get a live stream out yet within the week. I don't know what I'll be playing yet. I haven't decided yet, but it'll be a music one of some kind, because we got to redeem ourselves from that first episode that slipped out. So next one should be better. We're certainly going to try. And to everyone who's followed me in the past and supported all my ridiculous endeavors, whether it was Skateboard Cop or Canine for a Day or Boom Candle, or all the things I've done off of the camera in my life and my foolishness. Thank you all for your support. I love you all, and I hope you'll find me on this channel again, we can maybe find one another and enjoy this new chapter. Cheers.